Invercargill. What a fantastic way the Stars to get underway with the first of the heats, semi-final heat number 1 in the elite women's. And folks, would you put your hands together coming up towards the fence line? She is the current Olympic champion, Elise Andrews. And she'll joined here by Erin Green to contest this first best of 3 series. They'll be followed by King and DeVries. Some fantastic racing up on the boards here tonight with the sprints, followed by some individual pursuits as well. We've got the women's elite scratch race, the men's elite scratch race to conclude the night, and chuck in a few eliminations in there for some of the juniors as well. Some fantastic racing first thing here this morning. And of course, you're getting to see this live here in Invercargill. For those of you that can't make it down, welcome along online here as we stream it to you, bringing you some day 1 here of these championships. Of course, starting here, going right through to Saturday afternoon, when we'll see a lot of the team events with the team sprints and the team's pursuits, as we roll on off here with the Olympic champion sitting on to the front here. Already broke the all-comers record this morning in the 200 metres as the fastest qualifier, and a few PBs were also set by a number of riders, so they're very happy with the conditions here in Invercargill on what we well know is a very fast track. In fact, in its 19th year, 20th anniversary next year, as they approach the bell this time through in the first of the 3 heats here. And it is Andrews controlling things at the moment. Her opposition trying to get around and waiting to make a late charge here, but the power of the Olympic champion on the front just ensures that makes life difficult for the opposition. Will make that clear cut for the judges as they roll on through there at 59.1 k an hour, 12.1 seconds over that last 200 metres here. So fairly straightforward here for all concerns, as Andrews now goes 1 up in this best of 3 series. Folks, would you give it up for Elise Andrews? Heat 2, we'll see Olivia King and Sophie DeVries coming on up here for their best of 3. Hamilton City Cycling Club against Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club. Don't forget to check out on Cycling New Zealand's websites the constantly updating of the programs each day, of course, and then some changes potentially being made due to injuries, sickness, etc. One example of that is the Keirin. I've just been informed that the women's elite Keirin tomorrow, the heats will not be required tomorrow morning, so they'll be going straight through to a final tomorrow evening. That is the Keirin, so that is a change to the program as we look to Heat 2 with King and DeVries. Rider number 52, Olivia King, on the front here, up against DeVries, 54, second wheel at this point in time as they roll off the traditional 3 laps of racing in the sprints. The inside rider obliged to do the initial rollout, and all the commissaires watching closely. That has been done at a decent walking pace. And we've got the various commissaires dotted around the track in their points, keeping a close eye on their aspect of the track. All in radio contact with each other to ensure everyone follows the rules. Special welcome to all those that are first time here in Invercargill, both competitors and supporters alike. We hope you enjoy the Southland hospitality put on to you by Cycling Southland as the host club. We've done a lot of organisation to ensure that they can bring this competition here to Invercargill once again, as it has been for a number of years. New Zealand's first indoor velodrome as we head down the back straights. The bow lap next time round. DeVries makes a bit of a run onto the opposition. King decides, no, I'm going to scrub that off and take you up a little bit higher, and tries to alter the whole approach to the last lap of the race. And it is King in the blue colours now who goes on to the front, looking just to try and just enough without having to burn off too much of the energies here in the best of 3 series, and that looks like this way it's going to finish. So some very good tactics there by the Hamilton rider there, Olivia King, to ensure that she just did what she needed to to take out the first of the best of three. So De Vries now will go back to the drawing boards and look to ways of trying to approach it going into the second rides here. But folks, would you give it up for our riders? And Olivia King taking out the first up with the best of three in the semi-final of the Women's Elite Sprints. So continuing in the same vein, we move to the men's elite sprint semi-finals. Dakin, Russell, then Blackwood and Lart. Again, same deal, best of three. Before we move to the following event, which will be the women's elite individual pursuit finals. Wolferton and Reeve up for the bronze medal. Sykes and Milne for the gold medal. So Sam Dakin, Olympic representative, up on the top of the track here, up against the very fast Jackson Russell. These two have done a lot of training, a lot of racing together over the last few years. That's the thing with these riders, they know each other inside out here, so they've got to constantly be looking for different approaches to try and catch their opposition off guard. So Dakin has decided to head on to the front, which we often see in the sprint series. You very quickly work out what riders like. Some like to be leading out from the front, others to come from behind, depending on the angles and the length of the tracks. And Jackson Russell decides Dakin's had enough time on the front in the limelight, brings him up against the fence line there. So a fair bit going on as they use all angles of the track here for themselves. Of course, 18 degrees here on the straights. 43 in the bankings, and Dakin winding it up big time on the back here. Russell's going to have to watch himself there as they go on through into one lap to go, and Dakin kicks right over the top there, gets the full momentum of the track and very quickly opens up 10 lengths on his opposition here, and Sam Dakin will take out the first ride of the best of three here in the semi-finals to edge ever closer to that gold medal rides. So nice ride there by the Olympic representative to take out the first up ride of the night for him. Folks, would you give it up for Sam Dakin? So second heats up here, the semi-finals for these elite men. Number 7, Luke Blackwood there in the Counties Manukau cycling colours, up against the track cycling Nelson rider Kyle Lart, both with a fair bit of experience. Lart's been around for a long time. We've seen him come up through the junior ranks. He's got his name on the records boards here in Invercargill, on the far end of the track here, as he moved his way through the respective ranks here. There's a man sitting in the blue colours in second wheel at this point in time. Luke Blackwood there in the dark colours at the front of the race. 2 laps to go, 500 metres. Of course, the traditional length of most tracks these days. The black line, the measuring line down the bottom there. Bang on the 250. As Lart goes a little bit early. Blackwood hesitates a little bit and can't believe this is actually happening to him here. And very quickly, Kaio's got himself a decent sort of a gap here. He's got just over to do it in now as he gets out of the seat to start to power into it. So Blackwood's going to have to hurry it along here, but he's starting to surge into it as he goes down the back straight. Lart still holding him at the moment by half a dozen, and that could be enough to bring it on home. And Kyle Lart will get the first mark against his name on the right side of the ledger to take it one up in the best of three series here in semi-final number 2 of this elite men's sprints. So Kyle Lart from Track Cycling Nelson taking out after a nice move. Folks, would you give it up for our winner? So some interesting tactics being played out there amongst each one of those races, because as we well know, it's not all purely about speed and strength, especially when it comes to the sprinting, even though the name would suggest that's all it is. Very much tactically, a lot to play for. That can make a difference whether you can get just enough meterage there on the opposition to ultimately take that home and take out the win. And we've seen that now over the last few of those sprints, and they'll be back in action not too far away in the next round. But before we do so, we head to event 14, which is the Women's Elite Individual Pursuit. We move to the bronze medal final. As we get prepared here, I'm just looking at the notes on the top of the start sheet. Of course, that's just actually changed in the last few days. Currently, it has on there that Brian are both in New Zealand with the 4:30, but as you may well have been tracking some of the European championships, and that with the records being broken. And we've seen that lowered a couple of times. I think it's now sitting around 4 minutes 24. So Brownie, along with a number of other New Zealand riders, such as Elise Andrews, securing world records at the recent Oceania Championships. So they get their names into the record boards, record books I should say, and then, as I said, a number of those records already being lowered that little bit there. And of course, speaking of world records, Elise Andrews marked down to attempt to try and break the kilo record again, as she did at the Oceania Championships. It just got lowered slightly in the last few days of those European Championships, so we're still hovering in that 1:04 range. So that'll be on Wednesday morning. And tune in and see that in action as we go now to Maya Wolferton of Canterbury Track Cycling up against her teammates Lucy Reeve, 45 and 43 respectively. Wolferton here on the front side of the track, the Junior Worlds representative. Also contesting recently at the Tasmanian Carnivals with a number of other New Zealand riders. So rolling on off, Maya here in the front straights. And Lucy will make herself available to the front straight here in a moment. Obviously starting and finishing at their respective points. So 16 laps for these riders, and that's very new to them. A few of them would have experienced it at their respective regional club championships, Oceania Championships, because of course last year it was at 3,000 metres, so being extended now to the full 4,000. The same as what the men do. That's the same when it comes to the time trial, which has gone from 500 metres to 1,000 metres. So hence why we'll see likes of national records and world records being set very early on in the piece, and pretty consistently, I would suggest, for the first couple of years before things will just settle down a bit. So both riders with their coaching staff giving them the calls. And you can see them dotted in the respective points at the end of the back straight and into the front straight here to their respective riders to give them a call. And I'll let them know exactly what the splits are for each of the laps. So if you haven't seen a pursuit in action, yes, you are in pursuit of the opposition on the other side, but you're very much typically riding to a schedule. You know what you've done in training. They know what to expect. They've looked at the conditions, hopefully selected the right sort of gearing, and if everything all comes to play, they'll try and bang out repetitive laps there of a set timing that they have worked towards throughout the season before coming to this championships. So with some riders, they like to go out nice and hard right at the very get-go there and open up a decent sort of a gap and try and retain that, maintain that throughout, whereas others are more than happy just to roll into it and build accordingly and bring it home in that last 1,000 metres or so. So again, tactics at play here as well. So the two riders getting close to being in the same sort of straight. Now that makes a big difference. As Lucy Reeve goes out of the straight, here comes Maya. So she'll be looking straight up the track and just making out her teammate disappearing out the other end. And that'll give her a bit of incentive. Now, of course, the balancing act there is that as much as you can see them, and it's very enticing to chase it down, that you don't want to lift the pace so much that you manage to blow the legs a bit and muck up the schedule that you've got there. So you've got to try and just be a bit restrained in there and just do what you need to. Remember, this is the ride for the bronze medal here in the elite women's. So first across over the fastest over the 16 laps to secure that bronze medal. If the opposition does catch their other rider, and that's then the gun will go. There are occasions where allow them to continue if that has been discussed beforehand, but no one's indicated that to us, so we'll assume that if there is a capture, that would be the race on over there. As I said, sometimes they do allow it because they try to look at certain records to be broken for riders. And then I'm not sure if there'll be quite enough laps left, but however, it is getting down to the last 1,000 metres, so plenty of opportunity here as Lucy coming on through. You can see a bit of pain in the face there. And that from both riders as they try and maintain very good stature on the bike, keeping nice and fixed to it there and concentrating on the technique as the fatigue factor kicks on in here. Of course, they've already had a round of pursuing, so to bounce back here tonight. With 3 laps to go, Maya can see Lucy not too far up the track here. So the commissary has been watching this closely, particularly with the pistol, because that'll indicate if there is a capture. Keep things nice and safe, and it might just be that could be the case here as we come on through. With just a couple of laps now to go. 500 metres now for Maya as she hunts down her opposition here. Down into the back straight, 2 laps to go for Lucy. As they head round, the bell will be going this time through. This will be a tight one as they come on down through the finishing straights here. And as Maya Wolfden comes round to the outside, I think they're going to head around, and I think there might have been no gun, didn't go for us, but that's okay because they're only metres away from finishing anyway, so I think they're all quite happy with that there, and they'll both secure times for themselves. Folks, would you put your hands together for Maya Wolfden, who takes it on out over the 4,000 metres. She'll secure the bronze medal. We've got a 4:57.8. That'll get confirmed for us because it always gets a bit mucky with riders both coming over the line simultaneously there. And 5:02 at the moment, 0.5 for Lucy Reeve. But again, that'll be all confirmed. But no doubt about the winner, folks. Maya Wolfden over Lucy Reeve to take out the bronze medal here in the elite women's. And I think the gun has just gone for us. Better late than never. Here we go. Right, so let's move to from our bronze medal rider. We'll let them catch their breath, and then they'll be getting prepared for later on for one of the medal ceremonies tonight. A couple of rounds of medal ceremonies. So those that are tuned into the live streaming after event number 19, we'll be doing some medal ceremonies. And at the end of the night, event 22 after the elite men's scratch race, there'll be also some medal ceremonies, and potentially just prior to that, depending on how the sprints all roll out. So definitely 2, potentially up to 3 lots of medal ceremonies here this evening. As we get prepared now for the gold medal ride, rider number 44, Amelia Sykes here in the front straights. Qualifying fastest qualifier here, has taken this title before up against Mackenzie Milne of Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club. So 2 strong riders here to contest this gold medal rides here for the elite women. Then we'll be back to the women's elite sprints, their second rounds in their semi-final competition. So underway we go here for the gold medal rides. The Sykes there in the traditional red and black colours of Canterbury. And in opposition here, as we said, Mackenzie Milne and Te Awamutu colours coming down the front straight here in the green, the blue and the yellow colours. So two strong riders, and of course bouncing back here from this morning. At the moment, Milne, as the second fastest qualifier, has got an advantage over Sykes here. But as we said, different riders approach it different ways as we look to see what sort of splits. But 2.6 seconds, that's a substantial gap here early on in the piece. And I have to say, Milne looks well and truly over top of the gear, looking very comfortable here with it at the moment. And of course the gear selection, all important. And she keeps it nice and low to the base of the track here. As we look, 2.9 seconds, so it's going out, and now she's starting to approach into the same straight. So like we saw earlier on, we'll see the enticement there of the fact that Sykes is just up the other end of the straight here. Well, Sykes maybe just in a little bit of trouble at this point in time. She'll be looking to try and dig deep. It's now out to 3.3 seconds. There's Te Awamutu rider, second fastest qualifier. Currently, if the race was to stop, would be taking out the title. As she heads through once again, 157 through there, just over 1,600 metres. Still hovering around over 3.5 seconds difference between them as they average speeds of just over a tick over 50k an hour. But a massive gap continues to sit there at this point in time. Now open to 4 seconds. So Amelia will be desperate, just trying to find that extra bit of energy just to try and pick this on up here. Well experienced rider, 7 laps to go. Been a New Zealand representative. She's done extremely well both on track and road, but she's up against some very good competition here tonight with Mackenzie Milne, who, as I said, is still continues to look smooth with it. And has got that gear rolling quite nicely though the last few laps, and that also starting to look like the fatigue might be catching up a little bit, but has got a substantial gap to rely on at the moment as it sits at 4.1 seconds. As we go through it 2,500 metres into it, remember it's over the 4,000 metre distance these days. Big difference that from the 3,000 metres just to get that right. There's Te Awamutu looking at the moment to try and take out the national title here for the elite women's over Canterbury. As we look to see what the gap is this time through, 3:16 she goes through at just under 3k. So 3.8 seconds, so it's slowly starting to come down here. Sykes, and you look at her now, the style, she's now starting to look a lot smoother with it. She was going through a definite bad patch. Has Milne gone out a little bit too quick here? Let's wait and see as we look to the gaps. 3.3 seconds, still a substantial one here. With 3 laps to go, 750 metres, and Sykes is digging deep. 3.2 seconds. She's taking the time off, but not in big chunks. Can she continue to lift it there? She'll be relying on Milne starting to blow up a wee bit here, but Milne's still got a decent chunk of time up her sleeve here as they come into the last few laps. As she holds on to a gap, now 2.9 seconds. Canterbury is coming back here, the south versus the north. In the elite women's final here, has Sykes left it too late, or is she going to time it to perfection here? As they come to their respective points, it is still Milne out in front, 2.1 seconds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a long way in a pursuit here. And it is on the back straight that gets the bell. They go on through 1.7 seconds. It's Canterbury versus Te Awamutu. Can Sykes pull one out of the hat here? Milne continues to dig deep here, 1.1 seconds. Here comes Sykes down the finishing straight. Has she timed this to absolute perfection as we go to the line? Oh, 0.147 was the difference. Mackenzie Milne breathes a huge sigh of relief to take out the elite title. But what a comeback from Amelia Sykes there. 0.147. That is a huge effort indeed. Folks, would you give it up for our 2 finalists in the elite women's individual pursuits? So there we go, folks. Put your hands together. Mackenzie Milne will get her name to the records books here to take out the Elite Women's Individual Pursuits final here on day one in Invercargill at these National Track Championships. What a great final indeed, and when it looked like everything was all over here, but Amelia Sykes come back in that last 6 laps to just about re-add her name to the history books to take out that title. As we look to the times, you can see the big difference here between the gold ride to the bronze. So Milne confirmed at 4:47.462 against Amelia Sykes for the silver with a 4:47.610. Maya Wolferton with a 4:57.587. And in fourth, Lucy Reeve with a 5:09.290. They are top 4 here in the Elite Women's Final of the individual pursuits. So we now head back from the pursuits into the sprints for the semi-finals. We've already been treated to the first up best of 3 competition. So Andrews and Green, then King versus De Vries. So rolling off for our second ride of this best of 3 competition. The Halberg finalist, Elise Andrews, up against Green. She's already won up in the competition, riding the Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club colours, up against the Marlborough rider. Heading down the back straight, they'll go this time round, and Andrews decides to come with a late charge off the banking straight, come straight up onto Green, who currently is the lead. Green trying to hold on to it, but Andrews will time it to perfection and just roll on through there to make that 2 from 2 for her. Different approach this time round. But still plenty of opportunity as they put into practice different tactics as Andrews up against Green. What a great opportunity to ride up against the current Olympic champion. Folks, would you give it up for Elise Andrews? So first up rider we now know going through for the gold ride will be Elise Andrews, who will now get to watch to see if it will be Olivia King or Sophie De Vries. And they're currently King 1 up in the series, number 52 coming to you closest to the fence line there in the blue colours. Green will be setting herself up for the bronze medal rides, and we'll go right through on those competitions here this evening. following this heat here, we'll move into the men's sprint. That's the elite men's semi-finals. Again, like the women, have had one up in their competition. So in the blue colours, King, who's currently one up in this series here. Well-performed rider, riding over in the Oceanas, as a number of riders have recently. So we've got to see a bit of form from some of these riders, of course, with the competition over at the Oceania Track Championships there in Brisbane and the Anna Meares track. Some very fast times being produced there in the hot conditions. Of course, as we said, also a number of particularly junior riders and a few under 23s and so forth taking part in the carnivals in Tasmania over the Christmas break. Of course, then throw in the mix there for some of the endurance riders also contesting their respective road race championships for both under 19, under 23 and elite, both in the women's and in the men. So up on the board, you can see the green marker beside Olivia King, indicating that she is currently one up in this competition. As she heads high there, looking cool, calm and collected there. Just wanted to get a bit more momentum off the banking, and you've got to have the confidence to be able to do so. And she certainly got that as she rides straight up onto the wheel of De Vries. It's just going to be too fast here, and she will also go two up in the competition here, this best of three. And they'll be marking that down now to see who's up against who, which will be Andrews versus King for the gold medal ride, and Green versus De Vries as they secure 2 rides apiece, both Andrews and King. Making it clear cut into that final. Folks, would you give it up for Olivia King? It now takes us to event 13 again for the second round of racing here. We're taking first up in the best of 3, taking it out over Jackson Russell, and then we'll see Blackwood and Lart back up again as well. So if a third ride required in the sprints, there is a set amount of time in which the riders get to recover, if you like, so they do have the program set up accordingly. You know, if that doesn't quite work out due to the racing in between, they will just pause the program to let them catch their breath before they bring them back out to contest in that third round, if it's required, if it's all tied up. Don't forget, of course, as we commentate these and that and call them going across the line, things can change. We'll be told, no doubt, by the commissaires if there was any issues that they've got it all being filmed and checked on, and that's sometimes there are movements there that just fall outside the rules of the competition. So there can be relegations, all sorts of reversals, etc. in a lot of the racing, and that's if required. As the riders attempt a bit of a standstill on the back straights. Again, Dakin more than happy to be up the very front of the race here. Not an easy thing to do, and it certainly sucks the old energy out of the legs. Years gone by, and that we've seen that done around the world, 3 or 4 hours, literally keeping the bike still. It's not allowed to move backwards, obviously. And again, Russell not afraid at all to mix it up with Dakin here, making life as challenging as he can for him. He wants to try and shut him down from getting a decent roll on here with a couple of laps to go. So Dakin now being forced to the back of the race. Russell now, he's managed to get the front. Now can he take full advantage of it? As he looks over the shoulder here, does he think he's going to get the run here? Dakin doing the chasing of him as they come down, of course, a former kilo champion. So he won't mind winding it on up here as they power into it. Dakin waiting patiently. Now he gives it a wee bit of a kick to see what Russell's going to do. He comes straight up onto the wheel. When's he going to roll over the top of him? When it counts into the finishing straight, and Dakin will just kick through and take it there, using the full momentum there to springboard off the back of the opposition and take it 2 from 2 to add his name into the final for the gold medal rides later on this evening. Folks, would you give it up for Sam Dakin? So Kyle Larp currently with the green marker beside him, as we said earlier, indicating he's one up in this best of three competition here in semi-final number 2 for the elite men. So the man at the very front, up against Luke Blackwood there, the taller of the two figures there in the dark colours. So head down the back straight, bit of up and down the track we go with Luke Blackwood, just trying to force Lart to make turn the wrong way there and give himself a bit of an opportunity to sneak underneath here. But Lart, he's cool, calm and collected. He's been on these boards plenty of times, so he doesn't get too stirred up at all as they head down the back straight. Lart just continues to power into it there. Meanwhile, Blackwood, he took a while to get a straight line into it. Now he's going to try and force Lart into a 3-up as they go down. And inside running, Lart will be too strong there and will hold on to it. And that, but a good effort there by Blackwood. It wasn't too far off trying to roll him there for the final to make it through to that gold medal ride. But in the meantime, folks, would you give it up for Kyle Larts here, who's through to that respective gold medal final later on in the competition. And Blackwood and Russell will be meeting up later on as well, of course, for the bronze medal here in the elite men's sprints.
And welcome everyone to the track nets here, streamed live on VeloX. Was a bit of a touch and go start there, I have to say. Hopefully we've got things underway there enough as we get ready for the next event. I believe that's the girls under 17 elimination final. Just ironing out the kinks a little bit. It was a little bit of a scramble to get everything going, but here we are. Great to have you with us. Plenty of people here tonight. It's going to be a great event through the week. Hope that you can tune in. There's about, we'll have another 10 sessions to go tonight and basically every morning, every evening. A little bit of a break. Looks like they're getting a bit of a briefing. So we'll be coming up to the rail here shortly.
Elimination where we get one rider per the second lap being eliminated. You haven't seen this before. It's all about avoiding being at the back of the group, which is where the last rider has the back wheel. So that's rider, they'll get eliminated. So they'll be very aware of going to plan of their race numbers, because that's what we'll be calling out if they were to be eliminated. And we'll get down to a couple of riders and it basically turns into a 2 sprints. Challenging race to try and get right, especially on the smaller gearing. So a few riders at the moment in danger zone area here at the moment. Lexi Newton being one of those there in the green colours here of Cycling Southland also. They're both dicing with death here at the moment. As the first time through, as we said, last ride across. Rider 163 is eliminated. So Riders catch their breath very briefly and very quickly try to also get themselves into a position that is a little more comfortable towards the front of the race. Well, that's the advice I'd be giving them. And that because they, again, hovering around that back area, a very dangerous spot to be in. It looks like Genevieve here might be in a bit of trouble there at the moment down on the inside. And make it straightforward for the judges as they come through. 171, Genevieve here of Cycling South and eliminated. So again, so Canterbury got themselves all sorted in terms of team tactics there, controlling things nicely at the front of the race, giving them the opportunity to potentially try and take out all 3 medals if they ride smartly here. And they're doing a good job of it at the moment. 170, rider 170. So Sophie Best is eliminated this time round. Cycling South Canterbury. So Brighton Manor with 2 represented, Canterbury Track Cycling, Cycling South, and all the various clubs that are represented here. As the rail once again indicating to riders, this is the lap that you don't want to be hiding at the back of the fields. As they start to roll round once again. Lancaster towards the rear in the green colours, could be in a dangerous spot here by the looks of it. 162, rider 162. So Holly Lancaster of bike number 2 is eliminated. So the riders will roll on off on either the front or the back straights. Not safer to do so as the 18-degree banking. As they head down the back straight this time, and not a lot of movement from the field though. McPherson gives it a wee kick, and it's a good move to get herself out of a dangerous position here, but still hasn't quite got over the shoulders. They're going to do a bit of a battle here between 2 or 3 of them. 164, rider 164 eliminated. So Casey Brake gone from the field now. As we now look to having 7 riders now remaining here in the under-17 girls, event number 15 of this elimination final. Sitting on the front, Emma Crawford, familiar figure down here in the deep south, rolling things, keeping the pace nice and high for the riders and making life difficult for them to try and manoeuvre their way through. Here they go again as the battle goes on for the line. 172, McPherson is eliminated. Now a bit of a roll off the front here, as we see 1 bike commander with 2 and 5 of the Canterbury riders. So Liza McKenzie going off the front. Good move there by Cassidy Compton in the green colours to get herself away from the quartet of Canterbury riders. She'll let them do battle for the last rider across the line. As we come on through here, we look, it's going to be in red, it's just a matter of which one. 166. 166 is eliminated. They've got the cameras backing us up here so the judges can also check. Sometimes they can't make calls, they're just that tight. But pretty clear cut so far for them. As we now get to 1 rider off the fronts, 4 in the chasing group here. Heading down the back straights this time. And the pace again being kept very high here. Bike man with 2 rider getting a nice roll through as she sneaks underneath. Here they go to the surge. 167 on the outside, 167. Amy Free is eliminated. So Compton there in the green colours, but meanwhile out in front and still holding a good distance here is rider 169. That is Eliza McKenzie. She's got the next rider that she'll see is Lily Keith sitting on the front there in the red colours. But now the bike man with 2 rider tries to come up onto Keith, but she's not going to have anything of it there and gives it a wee bit of a nudge to make life difficult here. This could be a tight one between them all. 161, so great battle there. Well, the bike man with 2 rider, but now we are down to the trifecta for the Canterbury riders. It's just a matter of which order will it be in. But out in the front here, doing a fantastic job of it. That's a hard way to try and win it. And riders there, they're all starting to crack a fair bit here. As we look to Eliza McKenzie, can she hold them at bay this entire way? That was a tough way to win it. But at the moment, they're still not really making any huge inroads as the next 2 go head-to-heads down into the finishing straights. 165, rider, 165. There's your bronze medalist there now. First one added to the list. Emma Crawford, after doing a lot of the leading. Keast, she's digging deep as we've seen her time and time again. Can she get back from her teammate out in front here? At the moment it's Mackenzie, but Keast is digging all the way here to try and get the gold medal as they go down the back straight here for the final time. But I think there's not going to be enough real estate available. And folks, that is a mammoth effort from the gold medalist here. Would you put your hands together as she takes out a fantastic title, well deserved here, as Eliza McKenzie doing it tough, but gets herself the gold medal. Lily Keast will get the silver and will get the bronze medal here in the 1, 2 and 3 for Canterbury Cycling. So event number 16 now getting prepared. Same deal, elimination. This is for the under 17 boys. On the railing we will have 144 Henderson, 127 Keys, 136 Grieve, 128 Threadgold, 131 Botha, 133 Fringa, 140 Shayla, 146 Nilsson, and 121 Peel. On the blue bands, 132 Dalton, 126 Crampton, 139 Boys, 129 Allen, 148 Smith, 145 Crankman, and 134 Sims, 137 Bow, and 125 Clark. They are your field here for event number 16, the under 17 boys elimination. Same deal, they'll have a neutral lap, and then we will eliminate every 2 laps. So we're underway here with the big fields to contest this under 17 boys, and as per usual would expect fast and furious for this particular age group. And it looks like that's exactly how it's going to be played here as Canterbury colours up towards the front. Also Counties Manukau in the mix there as well. Cycling Southland with boys, all a bit of a touch there as Jesse Johnson tried to come down on boys. The commissaires will be watching closely as these riders here need to stick to the rules. Keep it nice and safe as they come round, but of course it's at the back. All you can see, the bit of a swing up on the banking and it's a real seesaw effort as it swings up high. 125, 125 is eliminated. It's one of the Canterbury combinations as they roll to the front. The rest of his teammates here to try and make life difficult for the rest. So George Clark, first one to get the cut here from a cutthroat race. These riders, these under-17s. Heading around, Canterbury 1, 2 and 3 sitting up towards the front here, making life as difficult as possible for them. Oh, another bit of a touch of wheels there as riders start to try and push their way towards the front. The commissaires might be getting their pay done so well tonight here if they're going to try and keep a close eye on some of these moves. 134, rider 134 eliminated. So Angus Sims. So all sorts of discussions over the radios there as riders jostle for position. And we said this is always fast and furious amongst these riders here, but it's a real bunched up there. Look at Grieve in the Otago colours, rider 136 there in the dark blue, just sitting up there towards the Tasman riders. And then a few others now starting to make a bit of a move from further on back here with Counties Manukau also in the mix. It's danger zone at the back. 145, rider 145, eliminated. A fairly clear cut thus far. So many want to be up towards the front. That's where there's a lot of action happening here. So Crackman gone, Sterling, he's eliminated here. Sean Bell in a dangerous position down on the inside. There's one or two other riders towards the rear of that field here. You can throw a blanket over them as they try and desperately find some space to try and manoeuvre themselves into. Here they go as we go down the finishing straight once again. 133, 133 eliminated. It's 133. I'm just noticing 131, thinking he was going to sit up. They're going to know their numbers and listen very well. So again, they start to push for glory towards the front, but a big field still to contest this. It's going to take a number of laps yet. Covering a long distance here, remember 250 metres per lap here for these riders as they keep the speeds extremely high. 137, 137, Sean Bell, Siding South, eliminated. And I think we might have, it looks like boys might be in trouble. I think there was a touch of wheels. There could be some broken spokes there, mechanics. And so the mechanics will be running from the teams to get them sorted out here. He's got a few laps to get himself sussed down out. The commissaires will be watching. So I think South and getting themselves sorted out to get them there, a bit of a touch. So riders, the flag is out, neutralise riders, just calm the farm a bit here. We're excited to race, but there has been the mechanical going on. So riders, just ease it off, stay in positions. The rider has 5 laps. I think we're through 3 of them. Is that correct, commissaires, so far? Thank you. So he gets a total of 5 laps in which you get back on out there. And it looks like the mechanics have got it all sorted. He'll calmly roll himself back into position. So Benson will just roll up and he'll join into the bunch. He doesn't have to do any sort of chase. He'll head up high onto the track and wait for the field to come through. And they'll be back in action here in a moment's time. Benson, just part of his training just recently, took out the team event with a teammate from Central Southlands in the Coast to Coast recently. As a 15-year-old. So mixing it up with the training, and we are back in action, riders. Back in action we go. So boys just slots himself straight back into the exact same position he was when the touch of wheels occurred. Doesn't take much to touch the wheels. You could hear the spokes being snapped there as they bumped into each other. There was no malice in that whatsoever. It was just the way in which they're riding side by side. Doesn't take too much with it. Meanwhile, danger zone to the back for 3 or 4 riders here at the moment as they roll around into the finishing straight once again. 140, 140. So Benji Shaler, cycling Southlands, eliminated, leaving his timing too late there to try and get round the outside. It was a tight one, but a clear one for the judges. Thread goal, I think, there towards the back of the group, the familiar nodding from side to side. He's going around there in the red colours. He's decided this is way too dangerous to hover back here. I need to get myself up. Gets himself to a certain point, but still certainly not a safe position yet. 121, 121. So 121 is eliminated. Johnny Peel, bike man number 2. Thread goal back into the danger zone once again. You see him kick out of the seat here to move up and around as much as he possibly can, but man, it sucks the energy out of the legs doing that day in and day out. Oh, and he just gets up around. 146, right at 146. Yeah, he's certainly dicing with death at the back there, but also making things a little bit dicey for a few of the riders too, as Sean Thread goal. As they come through once again. The bell will indicate for them. They know what it's about here. Greve of Otago still sitting there calmly waiting. He starts to drift a little bit towards the back as well now, so that could be danger. Remy Dalton in a good position right up towards the front, right at 132. Thread goal again, trying a different move. Right at 139, 139, eliminated. Benson boys. So, Canterbury in the mix towards the front. And you got a few riders just leaning on each other here. Dalton down on the inside. Next up beside him, 126 there. There's one of the Canterbury, that would be Riley Crampton. Now they splinter a little bit there as a bit of a surge goes on here. 148, rider 148, eliminated. So Nick Smith. So thread goal after all those efforts there. Looks like that's taken its toll on the body. As he drifts off the back of the group, the rest of them rolling through. What do we got here? 7 riders or so remaining. 8 is it? So Sean Threadgoal, here he comes now, is eliminated. Rider 128. So 7 riders now remaining here to contest the medals for the under-17 elimination here in Invercargill on day 1 of these New Zealand Track Championships. Thanks to all those that have come on board for the live streaming. The team here doing a great job of keeping you up to date as we try and capture some of the footage of the racing, and it's fast and furious down into the straight again here for the under-17s. 132, 132 eliminated. So Dalton, he was riding pretty smartly up towards the front there, but just getting caught out this time rounds. Brings us down now to, 6 riders here remaining. Dozen laps. It's a long race, and you can see the fatigue captures a few of them out there as the race goes further and further on. Now we're starting to see a few different colours, a few different numbers coming towards the front. They've waited patiently in the middle of the bunch there. 129, rider 129 eliminated. Max Allen is gone as we are down to 5 riders now. And it's a mix of different clubs here as they head round the back straight. The Canterbury rider trying to ride them on his hip a wee bit there, make life difficult for them as they tried to get the roll on there. So the two Canterbury riders trying to keep things under control here as they come on down the finishing straights. 136, Grieve of Otago. And we are now down to the four riders. So getting ever closer to the podium finish here. Keith there up in the Canterbury colours, sitting patiently in second wheel, doing a smart ride with it as they go down into the back straight. Now they give a bit of a kick from further on back here. Who's going to get themselves caught out this time? There's only so much space available on the track. 131, 131, 131. So Alex Botha eliminated, and we now have our medalists here. 131, Botha is eliminated. We're heading down the back straight once again here, and they'll wind things on up as much as they possibly can. Crampton out in front here, 126 at the moment. Can they make it, the two Canterbury riders? Oh, it's tight. 144, 144. So there is our bronze medalist rolling on through there. So Jamie Henderson, Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club. Now it's the two up with two Canterbury club riders here to go up against each other. Keyston Crampton as they roll through one lap here to go. And straight away we get a bit of a kick off there with Crampton, and it looks like he's got the legs on him, and Crampton is powering away here to roll on through. Riley Crampton, folks, would you put your hands together? We'll take out the under-17 elimination. Keith will secure the silver medal here, and Henderson the bronze. But a fine ride by all concerned, because that is a very long and fast and furious race here for the under-17 boys elimination. Great bit of competition here on night one of day one here of these New Zealand Track Championships. So underway now, event 17. This is the Women's Elite Sprint Finals. This is the bronze medal ride. First up, best of three. Number 54, Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club, Sophie De Vries, up against number 50, Erin Green of Cycling Marlborough. So on the insides there, De Vries holding her opposition up towards the fence line. Again, just trying to force things to go at a certain pace, at a certain point on the track there, not allowing the opposition green in this case to get any decent run on. She'll try and overlap her front wheel just to make that a bit more difficult. But a bit of a bump goes as Green says, oh, we've had enough, let's get out of here. They head down the back street and here they go. It is Trees on the front here at the moment. Green, she might be just pounding too big a gear, might not have a chance to get over the top, or will she? But inside running gets it there. So De Vries goes one up in the series up against Erin Green in this ride-off for the bronze medal. A bit of touching going on there, but as they bump into each other. In the meantime, though, we'll go with the provisional result as De Vries goes one up in the competition. Well, as the commissaires have those discussions, looking at the various video footage, folks, here's a great treat for us here. Two New Zealand representatives now making their way up onto the track here. Both in outstanding form. And you'd expect them to be up against each other, folks. Would you welcome onto the track for the gold medal rides, Olivia King and the current Olympic champion, Elise Andrews. So getting their final instructions underway for that traditional 3 laps here of the velodrome, 750 metres. And they've done their draw, so if you haven't come across the sprinting before, it's a little bit like the raffle. They'll have, in this case, with these 2 riders, they'll do the draw there and it'll determine if they're number 1 or number 2. So the rider in the blue colours, Olivia King, drawing number 1. So she leads out into the back straights. And of course they just ultimately just switch around for the second ride. And of course if they do require a third ride, then they'll go back to doing the draw as well. So some of these riders using these national championships in preparation for Nations Cup in Turkey coming up. So here we go, King coming down, still looking over the shoulder here as Elise gets a big wind up, gets the big gear going as she pounds on down to the back straight. Her opposition has a quick look at her, she'll be regretting that because that gave another opportunity for the Olympic champion to roll to the front here, and she'll smoothly take it out to go one up in the best of 3 here for the gold medal rides. As Andrews edges her way closer to the top of the podium here in that best of 3 competition. Fine rides, as we said this morning, taking the all-comers record over that 200 metres. Folks, would you again give it up for Elise Andrews taking out the best of the first ride up, the best of 3 in this gold medal ride of the elite women's sprints. So this will now take us to the first ride of the elite men's, and then we'll have the women's elite scratch race before moving to the first of our medal ceremonies for the nights. First up onto the track, Russell versus Blackwood, riders 29 and 7 respectively. Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club up against the counties. This is the first of best of 3 again. I see a few people posting up online just asking if there is a live feed. Yes, there is. So if you know of people that haven't tuned in yet, just come to head along to the Cycling New Zealand's events section of the National Championships, and all the information is there, how they can click onto it. Now it is free to air if you like, thanks to Damo and the team, and that's so please tell them, and do not accept if someone tries to request any payments with the credit card. They are the scammers. Unfortunately, we know they follow all these sorts of sporting events and will try anything, but there is a link there for each of the days. to be able to follow the racing here. And of course, this is day one. Well, we start here on the Monday right through till Saturday, where we conclude, as we said earlier on, with a lot of the team events. So bronze medal rides, as we see Jackson Russell now moving into a second position here. Blackwood in the darker colours, number 7, rolls on to the front. Russell, as we've already said, very agile all over the track here. Doesn't muck about, and that there makes life difficult for the opposition to know where he's going to come from. Meanwhile, the man out in front, Blackwood, just gets over top of the front of the gear there and just winds it up as fast as he possibly can and makes life as difficult as he possibly can here for his opposition, and it looks like he's done enough here, and he'll move himself through to take the win and win it by a decisive margin in the end here for Blackwoods to go one up in this best of 3 series. So a fine ride there by Blackwood. Folks, would you give it up for the man from Counties, Manukau? So, of course, that was the ride for the bronze medal, which naturally takes us down to the ride for the gold and the silver, which is see Sam Dakin and Kyo Lartz up against each other in this final of this elite men's best of 3 competition. Dakin. So we're in action up at the Canterbury Carnivore in the new year. Some very good results in amongst it there. You had a go at the track record at the time. It was pretty tough going there with the headwinds at Denson Park there on the day. As we wind on things on up, Lartz on the fronts. A wily man from Tasman there. He'll go all over the track. You can never underestimate what he can produce there. He's trying to make life difficult for his opposition as they head down the back straight, but I think he's got taken too much power. He gets the kick off the back end, that's all he's required to do, and that will naturally push him through to the fronts, and he will pick up his first up win here of this best of 3 competition. Sam Dakin, one up in the competition, folks. Would you give it up for Sam Dakin here in this first up rise of this final for the gold medal in the elite men's sprints?
Oh, we're having a few moments, but I need commentators.
Only got Julian, have you? Is that it?
Yeah, I've got his feed, and it's. I don't know what the quality's like out there, but it's.
Well, I've been asking as many people as I can.
What they find is that once they start doing it, you just got to get them in a seat, and it's good if it's old riders. You know, they just talk to themselves. You know, talk to each other. Have a bit of a chitty chat.
I'll keep working then.
Keep working. There's always you, of course.
No, I'm supposed to fix the traffic as a whole.
So event number 19 now underway for the Women's Elites 10K stretch race. If you haven't seen one of these, they're pretty straightforward. Just right across the line. Of course, they can lap the field as well, which has definitely occurred. Remember, it's over 40 laps, this particular one, so it's a decent old distance. 42, Sammy Donnelly, and then Mackenzie Miller just sort of take out the pursuit, just reached number 55. 43, Lucy Reed. Ferenga 48, Milne 51. Sherman 41, Wolferton 45, Sykes 44, Layards 47. So a field that's got a handful of New Zealand representatives in amongst the mix. Again, some of these riders, as we said earlier, contesting the Oceania Championships is part and parcel of their competition preparation. Again, similar colours being represented from the respective clubs out there with Canterbury Track Cycling Town Motorsports Cycling Club, Counters Mountain Manukau, Canterbury Cycling South Canterbury, Bike Manawatu. All the various colours that you see rolling on through there as Ferenga takes them up high onto the track. She's got the green colours there of the Bike Manawatu rider, which is Emily Sherman, of course, who will be favourites coming into this year, a performing rider, both nationally and internationally. So there's Sherman who heads up high in the number 41 there in the green colours. No one really trying to take the race by the scruff of the neck just at this point in time as they try and find their way around who they want to follow here at this point in time. We're Milk 51 heading up high as no one really pulling big laps whatsoever. Very quickly we're back to the front again of the same. So this is always an interesting one as they quickly shut things down and just do a few metres each. Yeah, riders are going to watch very closely and carefully there because it doesn't take much to touch the wheels. And so one of the Canterbury riders has had enough of that and decides that it's time to pick the pace on up. And it would be the figure of Sammy Donnelly, one of the New Zealand representatives here, who again would be another serious contender in amongst this endurance racing over the weeks worth of racing here in Invercargill. Area Sykes heads up high, already silver medals tonight in the individual pursuits. Again, don't forget, results being posted up online there as they become available and confirmed for each of the events. We'll bring you up to date throughout the week's racing as well for the shields, for the points. Given what we've seen earlier this evening for Canterbury Track Cycling. Finishing here with a number of points for themselves and there to try and Championships, which is on over the next fortnight up in Cambridge before it is finalised. Got a good foundation here to try and pick up as many points as possible. See the full records board just off to the grandstands here to your right hand side up on the wall. You're interested to see all the various centres, gloves, etc. over the number of years now that that shield has been available. Always hotly contested as we roll through nice and calmly. Nothing too dramatic here amongst the field at this point in time as they approach now some 27 laps to go. Sykes still up there, Sammy Donnelly. Of course, this event here on the track for these riders, with the combination of the end of the track season, at least nationally. Definitely a few of them have international commitments. But in terms of the national championships, for most, it is the pinnacle point in time for their season. Of course, later in the year, though, there will be the respective schools racing and so forth, South Island, North Island and National. So Milne being captured by the field, so one lap down. That'll be indicated up on the boards when they update things here with the -1 beside it. And the commissaires will keep a close eye on. Sometimes if riders get multiple laps, they'll pull them off as part of more than safety than anything. As we roll through now, what have we got here? Some 13 laps.
Yeah.
Particularly to this venue here, and then if the bathrooms are found to your far left-hand side there, you can see a big trophy cabinet in behind the grandstand there, which has some outstanding names and events over the years. And of course you can make your way right around the outside of the track to check out the various memorabilia there, various rider profiles. Emma Cummings is the next one that's just been completed and is going to be framed and put up over the next few weeks. So various New Zealand representatives in and around on the fence line, and various other photos, jerseys, etc. from visiting riders over the number of years. As things ease again, pretty much just following the wheels there, a bit of jostling around as riders, as we said, switch around, but nothing too significant at this point with 11 laps to go. Just a reminder that there'll be a pause in racing after this event here as we move to the first lot of medal ceremonies. 4 lots of presentations coming on up here in a moment with the two of the junior eliminations, the elite women's individual pursuit, and this very race that we are witnessing as we speak. So 9 laps to go, so into the single digits, and still nobody interested in trying to stir the race on up. They're all hopeful that they've got the legs on them into that final few laps. And there is a couple of fast ones in there, but others I would suggest, and that would typically be looking at other alternatives. And this hesitation in the proceedings amongst them out there can catch a few riders on out as they just decide to sort of go into a bit of a trance as things just roll quietly, and all of a sudden you look up the track and a rider could have opened up 60, 70 metres without much effort whatsoever. And as we see one of the Canterbury riders now giving it a little bit of a nudge off the fronts here. So heading down the back straights this time round, Lucy Reeve was in the bronze medal ride, got 4th in the individual pursuits. She comes through. Then we go Sherman in the green colours, very attentive towards the front there for bike Manawatu. Another one of the Canterbury riders decides to give another wee nudge as well. That would be Sammy Donnelly, another one of the New Zealand representatives. She rolls on off the front. Now this is a dangerous move. You let someone of her calibre head off. She's very used to pursuing, so she's more than happy to sit off the front there. And she's now put the pressure on the field. She has a bit of a look over. She's herself a good 40 metres on them at this point in time. Sherman now gets down on the drops. There's time trial across to her, and that is really starting to put the pinch on, and 1 or 2 other riders now. Reeve being one of those riders here that's just struggling off the back as we speak. Ferenga also another one. Meanwhile, out in front, Donnelly continues to hold on to a decent sort of lead with 3 laps to go. She decides to roll up high onto the track though, as you can see the calibre of rider that's coming across here as they get set into position to try and set themselves up for the battle into the last few laps. Maya Wolfenden right up towards the front now of the race. She'll bring them through with 2 laps to go, 500 metres. And look, here we go. Here goes the pursuit champion. Milne is gone, folks. She is gone, and I tell you what, it's going to be hard to bring her back. Mackenzie Milne, can she take 2 from 2 here tonight as she goes through with 1 lap to go, and the New Zealand representative is chasing her down. That is Sherman. Sherman trying to get onto Milne. They're the 2 doing battle here at the moment. Here comes Sherman. Has she timed it to perfection? And the answer will be yes. Sherman will take it out. Milne will be the next rider across the line there. Then you'll go back to rider number 44, Amelia Sykes. She'll secure the bronze medal, but Sherman, oh, the heart was in the mouth there for a moment as she saw the rider Milne disappear off the front, but she times it to perfection. Folks, would you give it up for our latest national champion? So a great finish there over those last few laps after fairly quiet proceedings early on. And we'll get now prepared for the respective presentations. We'll be back with you with the live streaming of that very shortly.
So everyone, just waiting for the first round of medal ceremonies for the Knights, events 14, 15, 16, 19. That'll be the IP, Women's Elite IP, the Under 17 Women's Elimination, Boys Under 17 Elimination, and Women's Elite Scratch Race. Welcome to Invercargill. We didn't really get to say hello before we got here. We just got everything set up this afternoon, so had the odd teething problem here and there, but hey, we're going to get lots of practice all week. I have been on to Tomo. He is looking for commentators. We've got the main infield commentary plugged into our system, but we do have the ability for a couple of commentators at the desk, so we're working hard for that one. A couple of able camera operators, 2 out of 3, so we're working on that one as well. And just working through the old technical glitch. We haven't got the scoreboard up yet. We'll work on that tomorrow, or the lap board, I should say. Scoreboard, managed to sort out the feed for that, so that's always handy to have on the screen. The lap board is something we'll be working on. Few riders starting to congregate in the centre field there, but as yet nothing too much going on. A few shout outs. John Gray up in Cambridge. Hopefully he's watching. Said he was going to have the channel on. And of course to Cycling Southlands and the stadium here in Invercargill. Always a good event. They've got the heat cranked up. It's been very warm outside today. We just flew in today. Beautiful sunny day here in Invercargill. So some would say it's always like that. We were here last week with bringing the equipment down, and I have to say it was like 30 degrees, and I kind of struggled with that. I'll get back to the techie stuff. In the meantime, we'll just sit tight, and we'll come back with the rest of the live stream and a real commentary once we get the ceremonies underway.
Championship will now take place. The medals and jersey to be presented by Mr. Bruce Ross, life member of Cycling Southlands. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Maya Wolfenden. In second place, and winner of the silver medal, representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Amelia Sykes. In first place, the winner of the gold medal in the 2025 Women's Elite Individual Pursuit National Champion, representing Te Awamutu Sports Cycling. Folks, would you put your hands together for Mackenzie Mills? And Mackenzie to be presented to the national jersey. And also to receive the Kirsty Klingenberg Cup as part of this national title. Fantastic final that we saw there, down to the closing meters. To get the gold medal and the trophy as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships.
Elimination.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony now for the under-17 Girls Elimination Championship will now take place. Again, Mr. Bruce Ross to present the medals. In third place and winner of the bronze medal representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Emma Crawford. In second place and the winner of the silver medal representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Lily Keast. In first place, the winner of the gold medal and the 2025 Under-17 Girls Elimination National Champion representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Eliza McKenzie. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the Under-17 Boys Elimination will now take place. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club, Jamie Henderson. In second place, and winner of the silver medal, representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Oliver Keast. In first place, winner of the gold medal and the 2025 Under-17 Boys Elimination National Champion, representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Riley Crampton. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the Women's Elite Scratch Race Championship will now take place. Medals and jersey will be presented by Mr. Bruce Ross, life member of Cycling Southlands. In third place, and winner of the bronze medal, representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Amelia Sykes. In second place, and winner of the silver medal, representing Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club, Mackenzie Milne. In first place, the winner of the gold medal and the 2025 Women's Elite Scratch Race National Champion, representing Bike Manawatu, Emily Sherman. And Emily too received the national jersey as part of proceedings here, along with the gold medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. Well, folks, we're going to move into some of the finals here in a few moments' time here. The individual pursuits coming on up. There's still the men's scratch race at the conclusion of the night as well.
So as we finish up the medal ceremony, we'll look to head into the women's junior under 19 IPs. 2 heats, 4 riders. Bronze final followed by the gold final. Men's junior IPs under 19, 3,000 metres, bronze and gold finals. Into the last rounds of the elite sprints, medal ceremonies, and then rounding out the night we'll have the elite men's 10,000 metre scratch race. Looking pretty good for time, if the clock serves me correct. Looking to get set up on the track here, so should be back to commentating and the racing very shortly.
So underway here for our junior under 19 pursuits. Sayers and Beale, the 2 Canterbury riders, up against each other here for their 3,000 metre distance. So 12 laps. So of course ride for the bronze medal here. Sayers faster qualifier over Beale early this morning. Then it'll be Thompson versus Maxwell for the gold medal rides. So as we saw earlier on, the calls being made by the respective coaches. And you can see, at times they'll have a mixture of ways of doing it, and that's everyone to their own personal taste of how they put it out there. Some we can see, I see Terry on the back straight there with the iPads, so he'll show the times to us. So I can see an 8.6 indicating 18.6 seconds. Others with the stopwatch, others will crouch or stand, and at the edge they will move forward of the line, back of the line at the halfway points, often in finals, just to give an indication to the right if they're up or down on their opposition. Some will set themselves a schedule for the first half of the race and move into that particular methods in the second half. But these riders would have been analysing each other. Of course, they know each other very well with their racing up at Denton Park there in Hornby and Canterbury. And that's so very familiar with their strengths, but it's Sayers currently who's got the advantage here, averaging a speed of 47.5k versus 46.5 between the two, between her and Beale. Sayers, of course, a name in the history books already for a number of junior records over the years, and that's and results both on the track and on the roads. As they head through, 3.218 seconds. That is the difference currently between the two. But you can see now that the pace is being lifted by Sayers here over Beale. And she has a wee sneaky look across the track there and can see her opposition. Trying to turn those gears on over. Again, all important. Some of these riders are stepping up into this particular length of individual pursuits here after doing a couple of thousand metres, move up to the 3,000. Of course, eventually they'll move up into the 4,000 metre distance for them. As we look to the splits this time round, Sayers still extending it now out to just over 5 seconds as Sayers now over Beale. And then so she'll enter into the straight, she'll see Beale disappearing out to the back straight of it there. Eliana Beale, and that's again another familiar figure down here in the deep south, and that for a lot of the racing. Her and her father, Andy, who's well-performed rider in his own right in the Masters category, as they head down into the front straights here. Both riders now in the same straight together here. Down into the back straight we go, and it is still Sayers with the firm advantage here as we look to over nearly 7 seconds distance here as she rolls on through to be the first one to be added to the podium lists, and will take out a fine win in a time of 3:47.121. 3:47.121, average speed of 47.5k for Shayla Sayers over Eliana Beale, and that's the clock just hasn't quite stopped for us there, but they will be third and fourth on the podium here, or the overall results I should say here for the 3,000 metres. But folks, would you put your hands together for Shayla Sayers of Canterbury. So they'll prepare now for the gold medal rides with Thompson in the front straights and Maxwell in the back straights. So again, the familiar colours here of the black and red. They're racking up some good points here for the point shield as Thompson and Maxwell all off their respective start lines. Of course, again, where they start from is where they finish here for the distance. Jessie Thompson. And then, so I've got it on good authority that she's bouncing back just in the right time here for these national championships. After just slowly but surely building back into it over the Christmas break. And then up against Sophie Maxwell, two very good riders who we've seen again a number of times here at the velodrome. It's currently 0.3 of a second, so really nothing in it in the early stages here for these riders. And again, as we mentioned earlier on, some riders will go out pretty hard and fast, like to get up to top speed, and others just build into it and to come home in that second half. There's all sorts of ways of approaching it. And the main thing is that you can hold on to a decent sort of a pace, maintain it for as long a period as you possibly can. As we see the splits once again coming through here. Maxwell still with the advantage at 0.7 seconds, 0.7, so really still nothing dramatic in it at this point in time. And again, rolling through, we get the splits, of course, every half lap they go through. They're both sitting good speeds at 47 and 46k an hour each. Thompson at the 46, currently sitting in second spot here. 1.2 seconds. So Maxwell now starting to extend the lead there, and you look at it there, you can see all of a sudden the cadence has certainly changed, and she's really starting to kick into things here. Thompson looking to try and find another gear here, of course trying to bounce back from the efforts earlier today as the faster qualifier as they go on through, but it doesn't count for anything. It's all about the final now to back it on up. 48 versus 47k. Not much difference between them in terms of the speeds here, but the gaps, looks at the time there, just over a second, 1 second, 1.042 to be absolutely exact on it here. As we look to the next half lap gap here, Maxwell continues to lead. Thompson has just dropped it under a second now. She's going to start and come back. Is she going to do an Amelia Sykes? We're about to find out here. 0.8 of a second now. Still Sophie Maxwell out in front as they make their way down into the closing moments here of the individual pursuit final. We look to the board with a couple of laps to go, 500 metres. Is Thompson going to leave it to the last possible moment? That's when it all counts here. 0.6 of a second. It's still a decent sort of a gap here. She's going to have to try and really dig deep as they both are. Maxwell trying to hold on to it. 0.5 of a second. She's taken another 10th off at half a lap, but there's not much distance now remaining here. In the final, the 3,000 metre pursuits. 0.6, oh, it's seesawing a little bit here. Has Thompson gone too hard, too fast? We're about to find out, or has Maxwell gone out too early here? 0.7 of a second, so Maxwell now starts to open it up even further on its here and could be on her way to a national title as they go through with half a lap to go. It's just over a second. Thompson did start to come back, but it looks like Maxwell's going to hold on to it as they go to their respective lines here. Sophie Maxwell takes it out with 48.7k an hour, 341.453. Over Thompson with a 342.947, 1.4 second difference between the two of them. But as we saw earlier on tonight, a fantastic battle here in the individual pursuit final. This is the under-19 women's individual pursuit final, folks. Put your hands together for your new national title holder, Sophie Maxwell. So underway, this is right off time for event number 21. This is the under-19 men's 3,000 metre individual pursuit final. This is the ride for the bronze medal, where we have Sterling Janelle, Te Awamutu Cycling Club here. He's number 91. He's up against David Kwan of Counties Manukau Cycling. Then we'll see Grieve and Dalton meet up for the gold medal rides. So again, straight into the work, the two of them here, as we look for some of the splits, but nothing really picking up there, so we might be going to manual timekeepers potentially. There might be some issues there with the timing strips. So here we go, a bit of a split happening now, as it looks like Kwan into second position. As we look to it, here we go. Now Like one to control here, 1.1 second difference here at the moment with Janelle out in the leads here over Quan, but it's early days here. There's the 1 second difference here between the two of them. So just confirm there might be some issues with that timing, so we'll just go with the naked eye here at the moment, but the guys on the stopwatches, the pressure goes on to them now because they'll be looking at the manual timekeeping, and we'll make them out as they come on through here, down the home straights. At the moment, it looks like David Kwan has got himself a decent sort of gap. He heads down into, look at him, he's tucked into aero position, David Kwan. A familiar figure down in the deep south for the likes of the Yunker Junior Tour, the schools racing, etc. Of course, he's taking part in the New Zealand Criterium Champs here not that long ago as well, so just about his second home down in here as he does battle with Janelle, so Sterling Janelle at the moment, riding to the fourth position as they chop it down to 1K to go, 1,000 metres, and the different styles on it here at the moment. Different setups, of course, totally different looking riders, of course. The tall figure of Te Awamutu rider here as he goes on through, number 91. Up against David Kwan, Auckland Grammar rider, and that's has performed extremely well across the boards here, with on the boards and on the roads. And it looks like he could be heading his way around to be the first name to be added to the medal ceremony later on this evening, with a decent gap now on his opposition, and we'll get the confirmed results as in the times that through from the manual timekeepers as soon as they possibly can at the conclusion of it. So there may be a slight pause between this and the next race as they just check out the timing equipment is all working all good for them, as we'll head to that gold medal ride very shortly. But David Kwan on his way to a bronze medal. Here he comes, folks, down the finishing straight. He's got half a lap to go. He hasn't moved from that aero position the entire time. And David Kwan brings himself through to the finishing line. And again, it's the back straight that takes out the winner, seen all day long here in the individual pursuits. And he takes that out, of course, over Sterling Janelle. But folks, would you give it up for David Kwan? Just be checking the gates to make sure everything is all good here for Joshua Grieve of Cycling Otago. He'll be up against Hunter Dalton of Counties Manukau. They are the finalists here for the gold medal rides in the individual pursuit here for the under-19s. So the confirmed results Sterling Jarnell doing a time of 3:26.020. 3:26.020. David Kwan, 3:22.402. 3:22.402. So next up, Grieve and Dalton, gold medal final. So Joshua Grieve, cycling Otago here in the front straights, up against the Auckland-based rider, Dalton. There's a pretty close neck and neck there, 0.1 of a second difference here in their first half lap, as they get the big gears starting to roll along. Going out to an early lead here, as he extends that now by 0.3 of a seconds over the first 500 metres. Holding it though, at this point in time. No panic stations early on at this point, and there as they stick to their respective schedules. As they start fast approaching 1,000 metres here very shortly, still hovering at that 0.3 with Grieve over Dalton. Otago versus Auckland. Now we start to see Dalton just give it a wee bit of a nudge here and tighten it up a little bit more. And we have the first switch arounds here as Hunter Dalton now moves himself into the lead, just over a K into it. And opens that up there by just under a second onto Grieve early on as they're making it into 1,250 metres into it. So Hunter Dalton over Joshua Grieve of Otago. No doubt Hunter's grandparents watching it live online here tonight if they are, and they had a big shout out to Warwick and Gaynor as they watch their grandson here in action going through. It's very tight though, so 0.4 of a second. So seesawing a bit here as Dalton makes his bid for glory and puts the pressure onto the opposition. Both hovering around at 52k an hour, 52.5 versus 52.7. So really nothing much in it whatsoever here between these two riders very early on into the piece. Well, they're starting to approach actually nearly 2/3 of the way into it. When you can see the speeds are changing, the average speeds is now picking up as you would expect over the distance here, 0.6 of a second. So it's still Dalton out in front, who continues to widen the gap a little bit. But as we say that, here comes Grieve. It's dropped down to 0.4. So the man from Otago, 0.2 of a second. Whoa, he's taken some big chunks over a couple of laps here. So all of a sudden, it's like he's just awoken, and Grieve is out to play. It's under a second between the two of them as they get down to the closing meters here. And Grieve is headed back into the lead after leading early on in the pace here. The Otago man has come flying back here and he's opened it up. He's got 0.2 of a second. The man from Otago, can he bring it on home here? He's absolutely pounding on the big gears, 0.4 of a second. Hunter Dalton, can he come on back? I don't know if there's going to be enough distance available to them. 0.7 of a second. Grieve from Otago. It's Connie's Manukau Otago, and Grieve will take it on out. 3:18.043 versus 3:19.244. Josh Grieve will take out this national title here. He's going to be pretty stoked with that. Talk about a seesaw battle between the two of them, folks. So would you give it up for Joshua Grieve of Cycling Otago? So both riders at 54k an hour, 54.2 versus the 54.5. Gives you a pretty good indication, a very evenly keeled race here. A great race between the two of them, folks. Would you give it up for your silver medalist here, Hunter Dalton? A great battle here in the final in Invercargill on day one of these New Zealand Track Championships. So underway now for the sprints, and we're into race number 2. And again, up on the board, you can see the green marker indicating the rider that has already won up in the series. This is the bronze medal ride, Sophie de Vries for the elite woman, leading over Erin Green. So pressure goes on to the rider in the red colours to try and even it up and force a third ride off. And then we'll go to the ride between Andrews and King before moving to the second ride of the elite men's sprints here as well. So everything ticking along pretty well here for the program tonight. So we should have a relatively early finish here on day 1. Here's the full program up online. Just go to Cycling New Zealand's events, and there for the Track Nationals, it'll give you all the results and communiques as they head into 1 lap to go. And it's Green who's decided to do the leading out here, but De Vries coming straight up onto the wheel, comes up onto her shoulder, and looks like she gets a wheel on her. But I tell you what, Green's holding her at this point in time, just about a touch of the wheels, but the outside will take it there. De Vries, that should put her cleanly through as 2 out of 2 to secure the bronze medal here in the women's elite sprint finals. But certainly a strong ride from the inside there for Erin Green there in the red colours. But folks, would you give it up for Sophie de Vries? Now that takes us to our grand final here. And this is the best of 3 series, as they get themselves lined up and are ready to go. Andrews versus King. Lisa Andrews currently 1 up in the series, number 53. She's down on the insides. So 53, Andrews 52, King. Te Awamutu colours versus Hamilton colours here. Andrews, the Olympic champion, currently 1 up in this competition. And been in some very good form over at those Oceania Championships. Just a reminder, she'll be going for the kilo record to try and secure that back, wrestle that back again. That's 1,000 metre time trial here on Wednesday. It should be around late morning. So certainly check that on out, see if we can get as many people down in the crowd to help support them. We know we've got a number of school kids from around Invercargill. They're going to try and make their way down here and make plenty of noise to support it and trying to break that record, which is hovering in that 1:04 range. As we go into the final here of the sprints though, Andrews, no, she gives it a wee bit of a kick. She decided, oh, I'm just a little bit off the pace here at the moment, and then gives it another nudge. And then we see that traditional kick in the back straight, where she onto the front, and it's pretty hard to come round her, and the Olympic champion will roll on through and take it 2 from 2 to add to herself another title here in the illustrious early career here of Elise Andrews over Olivia King, who was a great batter out there for the medals for the elite women's. Folks, would you give it up for Elise Andrews? I'll let them wind on down, or hopefully we might catch up with Elise here this evening as well. But in the meantime, let's get the men out onto the track here, which we'll see Jackson Russell, Luke Blackwoods. Blackwood currently 1 up in the competition, then to be Dakin and Lance. So Blackwoods took full advantage of opening up a gap early on in the piece here. He's the taller of the two figures on the very front to ensure that he stayed clear of the fast finishing Jackson Russell. Just gave him a little bit too much leeway, so he knows this time Jackson keeping a much tighter eye on him here, ensuring that there's no decent sort of a gap. Jackson Russell comes on down and drops the shoulder, so the commissaires, again, we're watching. They can only get away with so many things, but it's certainly making life tough for their opposition, some of these riders, as they throw them all over the track here. But again, it's about power and speed as well, and the man on the front here has got a lot of that, but Jackson Russell much closer to the wheel this time as he looks to slingshot off him here. Here he comes around the outside. This could be going 2 from 2 as we go down to the line. Oh, I think down the inside may well have held on to it. We'll wait from the call from the judges. Jackson Russell certainly was coming home very, very quickly indeed as they look to the cameras here to confirm those results for us. In the meantime, folks, would you give it up for our 2 sprinters on the track here? The ride for the bronze medal. So they're just going to work their way through the cameras. There might be just a slight pause in proceeding as they get these results confirmed. So great deliberation over that previous sprints there. Very tight indeed. As I said, working their way through, and they'll come back to us for confirmation. In the meantime, we have got the ride for the gold medal rides here. This is Sam Dakin currently down on the insides here with the green marker beside his name. If he can get the second ride here, that'll be enough to secure the title. But he's got Kyle Lart, who's just pushing his way on down, but Dakin not too concerned by that. He's ridden with some of the best in the world in the sprints here, and he's done very well in it, both in the Kieran and the sprints, as Lart gives him another bit of a nudge here, but they come up high onto the track, so they're utilising every inch of it here at the moment. That takes a bit of energy, to say the least. Meanwhile, Dakin is down on the inside. He might just have too big an engine here on Kaio. And it looks like Dakin is on his way, folks, to take 2 from 2 and to add the elite title to his name once again here in the elite men's sprints. So a great battle there, Sam taking out the title. 2 from 2 from Kaya Lart there of Track Cycling Nelson. And going back to the previous ride, we're going to have to see a third ride-off between Russell and Blackwood. It's one apiece. And rider number 29, Jackson Russell, also receiving a warning from the commissaires for dangerous riding. So that gets marked across his name there, so he now has to behave himself a bit through the rest of the competition. But it is a one apiece for those riders there. When we come to a third ride later in the competition, won't be too far away, as we said earlier on. They need a little bit of a break in between times.
The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight.
The medals and jersey to be presented by Mr. Bruce Ross, Cycling Southland Life member. In third place, and a winner of bronze medal representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Shayla Sayers. In second place, and winner of the silver medal representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Jessie Thompson. In first place, the winner of the gold medal and the 2025 Under-19 Individual Pursuit National Champion, representing Canterbury Track Cycling, Sophie Maxwell. And Sophie to receive the national jersey, and also to be presented with the gold medal and the Sarah Ulmer Under-19 Women's Pursuit Trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the Under-19 Men's Individual Pursuit Championship will now take place. In third place, and a winner of the bronze medal representing Counters Manukau Cycling, David Kwong. In second place, and a winner of the silver medal representing Counties Manukau Cycling, Hunter Dalton. In first place, the winner of the gold medal and the 2025 Under-19 Men's Individual Pursuit National Champion, representing Cycling Otago, Joshua Grieve. And Joshua to receive the national jersey, along with the NZACA 3,000 metre Individual Pursuit Trophy. Please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. Oh, we're not too far away from that third ride, but how about we catch up? How about we catch up with the man here in the national jersey? Everyone wants a piece here, Joshua. I think you might have achieved something pretty insignificant. Congratulations, great to see that out there tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It was real fun, yeah.
That's right, we'll let you catch your breath. It's a big moment, 3,000 metre pursuit. You'll have a look on that later on. You'll see some pretty impressive looking names on that there that have gone on to do some big things in cycling.
Yeah.
Cycling Otago will be pretty proud of you here tonight. Of course, you've got a few supporters in the crowd, no doubt a few of them watching on live stream. Is there anyone that you want to do a bit of a shout out to thank?
Thank you to my mum and dad and my coach, Andrew. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your effort. Give a wave to the camera there. You've got all your fans now. You're going live. You're going to be fantastic out there for them. Congratulations, folks. Would you put your hands together for Joshua Grieve from Cycling Otago? He's your new national champion for the pursuit.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town.
Part of the national championships coming off those Olympic Games in Gianna's.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't been to Invercargill for a little while, and this is where I started track cycling, so it's really fun to be back.
Just we're going to be doing your profile up on that wall up there in the next few months as well, so it'll be joining a number of riders, and of course it's great to see so many newcomers also in the sport at the championships here this week.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a really special thing for us about coming to nationals, is seeing all of the younger riders up and coming, and yeah, I just love to see them all going so well and enjoying the sport.
Now, you've had a pretty busy sort of a time over the last year or so, but of course, you know, Olympic Games, Oceania Championships, and then on the TV screens the other night for the Halberg Awards. I mean, how was that, being in amongst so many different sports people from across the country?
Yeah, I think it's a really special night, and it was a real privilege to be in the finalists there, and yeah, like you say, among so many amazing sports people, and I think that's, yeah, I guess a really cool thing for our sporters, being able to get out there and really showcase what we're about, and, you know, hope that inspires, you know, even one little boy or girl out there to jump on and give it a go.
Now, I mentioned to you there's quite a few school kids from around Invercargill. They've received the email about a record attempt on Wednesday, so we're trying to get as many of the kids down here to support you on Wednesday morning. Tell us a little bit about the preparation coming into the Kilo World Record attempts.
Yeah, I guess the Kilo's a new event for us, and the first one that I did was last week at Oceania's, and so yeah, we didn't really know what would come of it or what time it would be, and I was really stoked with my time, and I'm really excited to try and push the boat on Wednesday, but I guess into the future as well, and see how far we can push the event.
It's a big step up, isn't it, in a few of the events we're pursuits, of course, and that Brownie doing a great effort in that there for 4,000 metres. The kilo, and of course, I guess that's a bit of a change of mindset as well as the training.
Yeah, it's definitely a change of mindset. I think when I used to ride a 500, there's not much time to think, and not that there's much more time to think in a kilo, but I guess it's I break it up mentally in 4 parts. You know, it's the start, second lap, third lap, and then the battle to the finish in the 4th lap, and I think that's something that I couldn't do in the 500. So yeah, it's quite a fun new mental challenge as well as physical.
Of course, Kieran, final tomorrow night, no requirements for the heats, and then into that records. And what are you expecting of tomorrow night's Kieran?
Yeah, I think it'll be a cool race. Yeah, we've got a good bunch of girls, and I think it's just awesome to get out there and race. And there's Liv and I from the national team. There might be a sneaky little endurance rider entering as well, and some younger girls. So I think it'll be a really cool field and an exciting chance to just get out there and race.
And finally, of course, you're just here for about 3 or 4 days and then away again. What's next on the cards after this championship?
I'm actually just going into a bit of a training block after this this racing, which I'm really looking forward to. Just like getting the work done and kind of I guess putting the head down and figuring out what's next physically and what I need to do to sort of reach some of my 2025 goals.
You said it's been a long time since you've been in Invercargill, but they're a very supportive crowd. They're going to make lots of noise. We have a dual Olympian in our midst, folks. Would you put your hands together for Elise Andrews? On the Cycling New Zealand's page there, where you can get into each one of those sessions. And again, just a reminder, there is no cost involved there, so just ignore if anyone tries to suggest that's paid by credit card, etc. That will be the scammers in action. But great to see so many people tonight coming on board from throughout New Zealand and overseas here, tuned in to Invercargill in the deep south of New Zealand here to witness some fantastic racing. And haven't we seen some close finishes between those eliminations? The individual pursuit finals have been stunning, right down to those last couple of laps, and of course even with the sprints in which they're throwing each other across the track. And we get now to our third and our final sprints. So underway for the final sprint event of the night. Number 29, Jackson Russell on the front. Warning earlier on for the dangerous riding in the previous sprints. Up against Luke Blackwood. 1 apiece. This is the ride to determine who will be awarded the bronze medal. And Blackwood more than content at this point to be in second wheel as they head up onto the banking. It's some 18 degrees here in the Invercargill Velodrome, and then they'll head around into those bankings and there at the far ends at either end at 43 degrees. A bit of a slowing up, bit of a standstill goes on, the battle here in the headspace between the two of them as well. And now the connoisseurs will watch very closely as they angle the bikes. You can see here that the front wheel down a bit lower and then twisting it just to try and get that balance right. They do a lot of hours practicing these sort of manoeuvres, and it looks like Blackwood comes out the victor of that there. He didn't really want to at this point in time be the man on the front, so he's decided no, he's going to force it and make Jackson go to the very front of the race. Gives him a couple lengths there, so he's got a bit of manoeuvrability available to him. He won't go right up on his wheel. He doesn't want to be controlled by the rider on the front. And as we've seen, Jackson likes to throw the bike all over the place as they now pick the pace on up here in their final rides. A half and a half to go. Here we go, Luke Blackwood now. He swings up high, but Russell goes on up high onto it there. Gives it a wee bit of a flick of the back wheel to try and slow off his opposition, but he powers over the top, goes Luke Blackwood. He's very strong if he gets himself over there, but now it looks like the challenger Russell still comes at him. Russell coming onto his wheel, Blackwood on the inside. Oh, it's another tight one. Oh, with a third umpire once again here to the 2 minutes. We'll look to the videos there, but it very tight indeed as it was previously to determine who will be awarded the bronze medal. And confirmation coming on through that last throw of the bike to the line, folks. Would you put your hands together for Jackson Russell securing the bronze medal, coming around the outside just over Luke Blackwood. But what a great battle between the two, folks. Make some noise for both our riders here on the bronze medal rides. The 2025 Track National Championships Women's Elite Sprint will now take place. The medals will be presented by Rochelle Spencer, President of RTX. In third place and winner of the bronze medal representing Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club, Sophie de Vries. In second place and winner of the silver medal representing Hamilton City Cycling Club, Olivia King. In first place, the winner of the gold medal in the 2025 Women's Elite Sprint National Champion, representing Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club, Elise Andrews. Elise to receive the national jersey along with the gold medal, and Rochelle also to present to the Barbara Levito Howe Senior Women's Sprint Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the Men's Elite Sprint Championship will now take place. And Rochelle Spencer, for the President of RTX, once again assist with the presentation of the medals. In third place and winner of the bronze medal representing Te Awamutu Sports Cycling Club, Jackson Russell. In second place and winner of the silver medal representing Track Cycling Nelson, Kaiolart. In first place, the winner of the gold medal and the 2025 Elite Men's Sprint National Champion, representing Counties Manukau Cycling, Sam Dakin. And the champion also to receive the championship jersey, gold medal, along with the NZACA Sprint Champs Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. So in a few moments we'll get the elite men's race up onto the track. In the meantime, while they're getting themselves organised, good opportunity for us to catch up with Sam, wearing this national jersey. Come on forward, Sam, and we'll have a quick wee chat here while they get themselves all sorted. They've got the TV cameras all good. It's all very professional, isn't it? Yeah. Well, congratulations on a great effort, but a tough round of sprints and that, where everyone throwing themselves all over the track.
Literally, they're throwing themselves in the bin right now, I think. Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was great to have some fun rides today and move all around the track, and I think get back to some old-fashioned match sprinting, just hustle and bustle and a bit less speed, a bit more tactics. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've done this for a few years now, and it's nice to see that back in action where riders, we talked about the strength, we talked about the speed, but the actual tactical ability to utilise the track certainly makes it for exciting racing.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot today, John and I, kind of almost gamifying how we can move around the track and how close we can be at the fence and really utilising height in ways that probably other countries aren't at the moment. So big focus on that. And it's just a lot of fun to move around the track at speed, get close to each other. And credit to the boys, they really took it to me today and made me work really hard. So this jersey means a lot. I've won a few now, but it still means as much as the first time. So it's great to be back here in Invercargill as well.
And you've mentioned, of course, a number of countries in their racing. You've had a lot of exposure out there, a bit of the Kieran racing and the sprint racing. Of course, that all builds, doesn't it, towards coming towards something like this here to be able to bring that experience into the sprints.
Yeah, totally. I think we go to Turkey in 2 weeks' time, and this Oceania Nationals phase, Christchurch Carnival as well, has been great preparation for kind of getting ready for the world stage again. Often, particularly me at the moment and solo in the men's sprint program, you're going really blind to these events, and particularly into the games, it was a lot of unknowns in race day. So I'm going to Turkey really confident that I'm moving really well on the track and we're in good form, and we'll see where that puts us. Well,
congratulations again on your efforts here tonight. Folks, here's one of your latest national champions, Sam Dakin in the elite men's sprints. The commissaires will be calling them up onto the track. Underway now on the final event of the night here, event number 22. This is the men's elite scratch race over 10 kilometres. So you've got 18 Marshall Irwood, 20 Jameson, 10 Morton, 3 Keast, 15 Mudgeway, 1 Davidson, 28 Pedersen, 4 Ruthless Barnes Page. He's got himself down as Watson Palmer, number 30. Fitzsimmons, 19. Gardner, 16. Bimmy, 6. Goff, 17. Sanders, 5. And Liam Ramsey, number 22. Round off your fields. So certainly some key figures missing. There's a number of the elite men's endurance squad, national squads, doing their final preparations for that Nations Cup in Turkey. So leaving it very open here to a number of riders to take some titles during the week. Again, some of these guys have been in competition over at the Oceania Championships just recently. So 10 kilometres, 40 laps here in this final event of the night. And the pace being kept nice and high, as you would expect at this particular level here too, as Matt Davison heads up high onto the track, a two-time junior worlds representative. He's often one that quite likes to going off the front there and seeing what sort of gap he can get on the field, as Ramsey heads up high towards the fence line there in the blue colours. A mixture of different clubs and that being represented here. Irwood heads up high onto the track as well. He takes on Daniel Morton, a well-performed junior world's representative, come onto the track scene in the last 12 months, and he's made huge strides in doing so. Got some good results over at the Tasmanian Carnivals there in the year, along with the likes of Magnus Jameson, who took out a scratch race at one of the first carnivals there in Tasmania. Irwood taking out one of the wheel races over there, so these guys, they certainly get a fair bit of travel under the belts. And as we mentioned early on, some of them coming off also not only the Oceania Championships, but the elite men's road race and under 23 road race in Timaru a few weeks back. As we head down the back straights, now some pressure goes on here. Every one of these moves have to be looked at, and that's because they know full well it doesn't take much, open a bit of a gap here, and all of a sudden, you snooze too much, they could shut it down and open and get an entire lap on you. And so it's Morton who has gone off the front. We know a very good time trial on himself there, as is another man in the middle of it all there, number 16, James Gardner. And that's, you can see one of the Canterbury riders is pulling up in front of him there, so Gardner now giving the bomb to try and reel things on in. It's Gardner, two-time stage winner of the SBS Bank Tour of Southland. Pace being poured on here, so quite a difference in the way in which this is being raced here to some of the racing we've seen earlier on. These guys aren't going to muck around, and a number of riders being caught out with the high speeds right from the start there. There Baines, Page Baines, and then he eliminates, and that's off the back of the group here as the pressure continues being poured on. 4 or 5 riders rolling through as they head down into the back straight. Just trying to make out 1 or 2 colours there, a little bit different. There's Mudgeway there in the red colours, number 15. Of course, Mudgeway, well-performed rider, both track and road. And you go right back to the history books, and of course the boards here around the track. You'll see his name up there as a former Junior Worlds Madison winner there as well with Regan Goff. And of course he's performed very well on the road as well, stages and some of the big tours. Well, member of the Black Spoke team, been riding over in Asia, as a number of riders these days do. Quite a market of racing available in the likes of Thailand and China, etc. And these riders are mixing it up all the time between their and their track commitments. Mitchell Fitzsimmons, the Cycling Southland colours. Another man who contested over at the Oceania Championships recently, and also those Tasmanian Carnivals. Slaughtered, I felt, even talking to him in the handicaps for some of those wheel races. They certainly had him a long way back, but it will help in terms of the preparation for the championship event ultimately. As we head down the back straight, Matt Davidson, Magnus Jameson, they just roll up to the two teammates from the Junior Worlds. They went to China, and that in the last wee while for those championships. Colombia before, and now the pace for the first time really starting to ease a little bit with some 20 laps to go. So we're at the halfway point of the end of day one's racing. Don't forget, folks, we'll be doing the medal presentations as soon as possible after the conclusion of this, so hang around to support those riders. As we head down into the back straight, it's Irwood that leads them through. Hunter Goff there in the Otago colours. He drifts on up there. Haven't seen too much of him on the track for a while. It's been interesting, some of these riders, how they bounce back into it. And again, a few gaps opening up in different places as riders rearrange themselves as they roll through into the finishing straight once again. And it is Mitchell Fitzsimmons who's going to lead them through. Mudgway takes on over onto the front of the race here. And he's got a number of riders just sort of tracking him. They'll know that this guy's got some really good capabilities for sure, and they'll be wanting to make sure they keep close by. And young Lucas Abimi from Auckland will be one of those riders that's doing exactly that. As Gardner heads through, one of the tallest figures out there on the bike. Oh, a bit of a double turn there as riders having to watch closely as the manoeuvres happen. That would be Watson Palmer that's headed up high there. And he took with him Magnus Jameson along the way. As now things just settled down, so a few people getting the opportunity to catch their breath a bit. A bit of the calm before the storm as they roll on through here. With 14 laps to go. Irwood rolling through towards the front. They'll know full well that he's in, as always, very good form coming into competition. So they'll have certain riders they'll be marking. It looks like Keast making a good move here, rolling off here with Mudgway, and very quickly it opens itself up, as we suggested it can easily do. Zach Patterson, the man that goes off the front with him as well. So Mudgway just misses the wheel, but then calmly gets himself back across to it. So here we go. He's all on here to see what sort of reaction we'll get from the fields. Irwood decides he better get himself scrambling across there. I think he's taking Watson Palmer with him as well. As Mudgway decides, I'm not going to muck around with this, I'll just carry it on. They'll have to chase me down. 11 laps now remaining. And this is putting a bit of pressure on the remainder of the field there. As you can see, another rider is just not being able to respond, not in the way that they want at least. And very quickly we can see 3 or 4 riders establishing themselves off the front as the rest of the field feeling the fatigue factor. Interesting to note, of course, some of these riders coming in fresh legs, but they're just not responding the way they want them to. As the pressure eases again towards the front of the race in this final event of the night here in day one in Invercargill, these New Zealand Track Championships. Irwood rolls on through there to see what sort of reaction he'll get from the field as they quick look at each other, as they spend a bit of time just analysing each other all the time. Mitchell Fitzsimmons always got a good sprint on him. Gets himself towards the front, and that's in one piece there, feeling okay. He'll be a dangerous man. Bimmy still up there in the midfield. He's tucked in behind the likes of Gardner, as they're going to lap a few of the Canterbury riders here now. Matthew Davidson going to be one of those by the looks of it. Lucas Sanders, the other rider there from Canterbury, 1 and 5. We can mark them down now as being that lap down from the field, as we see James Gardner doing his familiar move. Marshall Irwood is Junior World's representative teammates and Mitre teammates, sees the action there, and he knows exactly what Gardner's up to. He knows they've seen it done time and time again. With 5 laps to go, I don't know, James's face is showing a lot of pain on it. As Mudgway and Irwood roll through down the back straights, and we see it being shut down by Daniel Morton as well, as he drags them on through. Magnus Jameson waiting patiently in the field as well. He's got a very quick finish. He would be one I'd be marking, a wee mark beside his name there as a potential winner of this. We know if they come down to it. As they roll through They've got Gardner back under control. It was off the front for a long time in the New Zealand Criterium Championships before they finally reeled him back in. He took out the under-23 title to be able to take that away. Over to American. Here we go. Mudgeway again. He's kicking off, and this time there's some quick reactions. As Fitzsimmons, 2 laps to go. This will be interesting. Irwood's got a perfect lead out as they head down the back straight, as is one or two other riders such as Watson Palmer. But here comes Jameson as well. The big steam engine, Jameson coming around as they roll into it with 1 lap to go. Look out, Mitchell Fitzsimmons, Magnus Jameson. Can it be Cycling South in 1, 2 and 3 as they go to the line? Mitchell Fitzsimmons and Jameson as they go to the line. Oh, Jameson! There we go to Mitchell Fitzsimmons and potentially Marshall Irwood into third. We'll get that confirmed. Have they got the trifecta Cycling Southland? Let's wait and see. But I said to you, mark them in your books, folks. Magnus Jameson taking out the elite title. An outstanding ride. Look how far back he came from. It's like he had a whole entire extra half a dozen gears to work with and moved us out to the very front of the race to take it on out here in the final race of the night. The man from Cycling Southlands secures the final event, folks. Would you give it up for Magnus Jameson? Confirmation of those results. Magnus Jameson, Mitchell Fitzsimmons and Marshall Irwood. So 1, 2 and 3 for the Cycling Southland Club to take out the final event of the night here. And we'll be into the medal presentations in a few moments' time.
Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah. much left to do except for falling in love with you. So I'ma let you keep me up another time. But please don't stay the night. Don't try to change my mind. Baby, please don't stay the night. I must do what's right. Don't make me ask you twice. Oh, don't stay the night. Don't try to turn it to a fight. You know I love you by my side. Just don't stay the night. I must do what's right. I'm done being polite. Oh, don't stay the night. Would you be waiting?
Track National Championships, the men's elite scratch race will now take place. The medals will be presented by Rochelle Spencer, president of Road Track. In third place and winner of the bronze medal, Marshall Irwoods. In second place and winner of the silver medal, representing Cycling Southland, Mitchell Fitzsimmons. Yeah, I've already done it. Yeah, just slightly. In first place, the winner of the gold medal in the 2025 Elite Men Scratch Race National Champion, representing Cycling Southland, Magnus Jameson. And Magnus will receive the national jersey along with the Phillips Challenge Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the place getters in the 2025 Track National Championships. And we'll have a quick catch up with our latest national champion in a moment. Well, they get the obligatory photos there for the paparazzi. And Sarah will come on in with the camera. All right, swell. Magnus Jameson, congratulations. What an outstanding effort. Now, I don't know if you heard the commentator mention partway through their race, but put a mark beside that man's name as waiting patiently back in the field.
Yeah, I sort of knew what I wanted to do right from the start, and that was go for a bunch kick, and that's what I did.
Pace was pretty high right from the start.
Yeah, it definitely was. A couple of people trying to bring the pace up, get rid of some people like me who were just waiting for the sprint at the end. But I was lucky to stay in there. Had some good training behind me, thanks to my coach Andrew, and yeah, backed myself at the end.
There was a couple of commissaires over there that were pretty excited as well. I think it'd be great excitement in the household tonight.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And fast and furious, a very strong sort of a field once again, and to have three Southlanders on the podium is pretty special.
Yeah, definitely. To have all three Southlanders in to get top three, it's really something special, and it's good to do, stand on the podium beside them.
And you wouldn't have had a chance to have a look at that trophy, but there's some pretty impressive names over the years. How is it thinking that, I know it's only been a few minutes, to add your name to the history books?
And it's definitely exciting to get that opportunity.
When are we going to see you racing in for the rest of the week?
All the endurance stuff in the kilo, so I'm looking forward to get stuck in for the rest of the week.
We look forward to seeing you in action. Congratulations, you look sharp in that national jersey. Folks, would you give it up for Magnus Jameson, who's your latest national champion in the Elite Men's Scratch Race.
And that wraps up tonight's streaming from Southland Velodrome. Been a fantastic night of racing. Tomorrow we'll be more organised. We'll be here early. And we'll start streaming for you from 9 a.m. session 1. I haven't got the program in front of me, but I know it's going to be a packed week. So thanks to all those viewers out there. Had 800 or so people online there, so that's great to see. If you weren't quite sure, you know someone that wasn't quite sure where to stream from, VeloX on YouTube. The links are on Cycling New Zealand's events webpage. As mentioned plenty of times, it's all free. So tell anyone don't pay. Otherwise, have a great night, and we'll tune in and we'll see you all tomorrow.